With respect to these elections, it's not just Virginia, and look at New Jersey. It's all over the country, in Pennsylvania, in Texas, and other parts. School boards, local mayors' races. It's unbelievable the wave that has taken place. Governor-elect Glenn Youngkin. This guy is a fantastic candidate. Fantastic. He's got energy, he's got likability, he's very earnest, and that gives him his charisma. Like the guy next door, right? That's what he seems like. And when he went up against McAuliffe is a dirty, low-down career politician who will do anything to try and destroy him. But it didn't work because enough Democrats and independents moved over to Youngkin, and enough Republicans supported him. And I looked at some of the numbers. White women in the suburbs moved heavily to Youngkin because of his education issues. So let's just take a few minutes of his speech to remind us of who he actually is rather than the narrative from the media. Go.
My fellow Virginians, we stand here this morning at this defining moment, a defining moment that, yes, started with two people on a walk, and a defining moment that is now millions of Virginians walking together. Walking together, sharing dreams and hopes, just like the ones that have always been planted on my own heart. Dreams and hopes for a Virginia that soars, a Virginia that never settles, a Virginia where the Virginia promise comes alive for everyone that calls this Virginia home. Together, we will change the trajectory of this Commonwealth. And friends, we are going to start that transformation on day one. We will invest the largest education budget in the history of the Commonwealth. We're going to invest in teachers, new facilities, special education. We're going to introduce choice within our public school system. How about that, choice within the public school system? We're going to start with 20 charter schools, and we are going to make a down payment and close the gap on giving parents an opportunity to select where their kids go to school. Friends, we're going to embrace our parents, not ignore them. We're going to press forward with a curriculum that includes listening to parents' input, a curriculum that allows our children to run as fast as they can, teaching them how to think, enabling their dreams to soar. Friends, we are going to reestablish excellence in our schools.
Virginia is a Democrat state now. It's blue, and yet he won. He was able to hold down the big vote in the northern suburbs, and by that I mean the differential was tighter than typical, and massive voter turnout in the rural areas, massive. And as I say, the suburbs, he did quite well in the suburbs. Now, people are saying this is a template on how to run. He ran on education, cutting taxes, safety and security, and transparency. Those are things that we support across the board. The difference here is he wasn't afraid to take on critical race theory, which is, as you know, a pernicious racist ideology that is spreading throughout our school systems. And he jumped on top of it. I hear people saying it started with Afghanistan and this, and I don't think Afghanistan had anything to do with it. I think it has everything to do with Biden and so forth. I also think there is some truth in the fact that people had had enough of Biden and the Democrats and what they were doing and wanted to send them a signal. But this really did come down to, in many respects, the rejection of critical race theory and the goal to impose that on parents and students throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. The teachers' unions jumped in, the Department of Justice and the Biden administration jumped in, and Terry McAuliffe was all for it. But the American people don't want their kids taught racism. They don't want their kids hating one another. They don't want their kids brainwashed. They want their kids to get a quality education. I never thought I'd see the day where the Democrats would actually campaign against quality education. Now they'll say they're not, but of course they are. When you're using the classrooms to push your propaganda. And again, this has a lot to do with you, the millions of you who listen to this program, my radio show, my Fox show, who read American Marxism. Engage, activism, people who are typically not comfortable with it. You did. And not just in Virginia, all across the country, you've made an enormous difference with school boards and mayor races and local city councils, upset after upset after upset, one part of the country to the other.
Want to see more Mark Levin? Go to LevinTV.com and subscribe now.